Synergy Theater and Freestyle Repertory Theater proudly present Right Away. It's a show, it's a jam, it's the best of both worlds, and it's happening right now. Please welcome your hosts for the evening, Michael Durkin and Ken Adams.
Good evening, everybody. So glad that you're all here. Hi, my name is Mike Durkin, and I am the Executive Director of Freestyle Repertory Theater here in New York City.
And my name is Ken Adams, and I am the Artistic Director of Synergy Theater in Walnut Creek, California.
I love it. Now, tonight's show is Right Away, and it's a production between our two companies here in New York City with Freestyle Rep, and out there in Walnut Creek, California. Love you out there at Synergy Theater. My good friend Ken Adams. We are two companies, two theater companies who are divided by an entire continent, but we are united in our belief that improvisation is spontaneous, thrilling, and exciting, and we're going to do some of that tonight, right? Are you up for that tonight, Ken?
Absolutely. We often improvise on stage, but tonight's show is all about improvising with a pen and paper or perhaps a computer keyboard and a monitor. We're going to take all of the spontaneity that we use to create improvisational theater on stage and channel it into creative writing exercises.
Yeah, so now listen, here's how this show works. We've got 4 playwrights with us tonight, wonderful people, and they're going to have 45 minutes to write a brand spanking new play based on suggestions from you guys out there.
And while they're off writing, everyone in the audience, that's you, is invited to play some improv writing games with Mike and me. I think you're going to want to use a pen or a pencil and some paper so you can still see what's happening on the screen while you're writing. After each game, we'll hear as many of you read what you wrote as we can. Now, I do encourage everybody to volunteer without even considering if what you wrote is good or exactly what you wanted it to be. It is just fun to hear how many different directions everybody's writing goes in. Then after 45 minutes of our workshop, the playwrights will return and present the world premiere reading of their new work.
I love this show. I love it so much. Now, before we start, there's a couple things we should go over. First of all, you should know that we're broadcasting this via Zoom. So keep your video and your self muted for now, for just this very opening beginning. In a few moments, when we start doing the jam, we're going to invite you to turn those microphones back on, turn those cameras back on, particularly those cameras. Now, if your apartment is messy, if you haven't done the dishes, we don't care. We don't care. We just want you to be there with us. So we certainly encourage you. Turn that video back on so that you can applaud and give the thumbs up to all the stuff that we're going to be doing in the first 45 minutes. But for right now, you know what's going on. We can see each other clapping. We can just enjoy each other's company, and that's kind of nice to do. Just remember, also down in the middle, as we all know by now, is the chat feature on your screen there, and we're going to use that a lot. We use that to get suggestions for the playwrights. And I guess talking about playwrights, maybe we should introduce these guys. What do you think, Tim?
I think that is a great idea. So let's do it right away. Our first playwright is the artistic director of Freestyle Repertory Theater. Her scripts have been produced in New York City at the Metropolitan Playhouse. More about that later. She's also a director, and these days she's doing improvisation with about 200 New York City public school children. Please welcome Laura Livingston.
Yay. Now, Miss Livingston, are you doing that all at the same time? Are all those 200 kids in one room?
Yeah, I think it's more like 400 right now. Yeah. Without a mask. I don't wear a mask either.
Well, that is very daring. Laura, what is your strategy for going into the playwriting challenge this evening?
My strategy is to drink no more than this amount. I haven't drunk a drop of it yet. I'm just breathing it, seeing if it relaxes me.
Well, fantastic. We'll let you go off and curl up in a corner with your bottle there. And Michael, why don't you introduce our next playwright?
Well, our next writer is the co-director of Mopco Theater, Improv Theater up in Schenectady, New York. She's the founder of Coppet and Company. It's a training and consulting company specializing in the use of theater and storytelling techniques for individuals, organizational performances. Her book, Training to Imagine, is considered a seminal work in the field of applied improvisation. She has appeared with us here at Freestyle Rep in New York City. She developed full-length improvised musical format called Spontaneous Broadway, which has been a big hit with many companies around the world. Could not have blah, blah, blah. Well, you're so talented, Kat. I mean, we got to tell everybody what a gem you are, ladies and gentlemen. Kat Coppet is here. Hey, Kat, how you doing?
Hi, I'm great.
Yeah, a beautiful, listen to everybody, I'm talking to everybody, but particularly specifically to Kat. A beautiful day today, a spring day today.
It was in the 50s here, and we had close to 3 feet of snow last week. So
really?
yes.
Gee, you're not that far away. You're only like 100 miles away, and we got nothing but junky rain is what we got.
Yeah.
So, all right, listen, it was good to have you here, and we're going to see you in just a bit. And before we leave, Kat, we'll say goodbye to you, but I'm going to ask Rachel Koch if she would turn off her video. She's got her. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Let's meet our next playwright. Our next playwright co-wrote the screenplay for the Denzel Washington film Deja Vu. His short comedy Gunpoint is being seen and nominated for awards in film festivals everywhere. Please welcome Bill Marsili.
Hey, Bill Marsili. Hey.
Hello, Bill. How are you?
I'm okay. Thanks. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. Bill, are there any new projects in the offing for you that you want to chat about?
There's all kinds of stuff in the offing, not a lot in the doing quite yet.
It's all in
not in the awning. A lot of offing, not so much awning.
It's in the put it offing.
No, but my Deja Vu writing partner Terry Rossio and I sold a feature script to Amazon Studios summer before last, and fingers crossed, it looks like they may be on a production track with it. So we'll see how that goes.
Wow.
You're kind of a connection to the film. You're a connection to the film industry. Any surprises from the Oscars? Were there any surprises to you? Were there any I couldn't believe that?
I watched like the latter half of them with my family. I can't talk about the industry all that much. I think people were surprised that perhaps that Tar didn't do better, I suppose. Some of the other films, but I think The Fabelmans might have gotten shut out. I'm not sure. Yeah. But there were a lot of pleasant surprises too.
There were. I
adored Ke Huy Quan's acceptance speech. For once, somebody had his fist in the air saying, "America's great." So, oh my gosh, what a strange thing to see at the Oscars.
Right. So, all right. Thank you, Bill. Go ahead back into the writer's nook. And Mike, you want to go ahead and introduce our final playwright?
Oh, our final playwright, a good friend of mine, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Alex Rowe is the director of the Obie Award-winning Metropolitan Playhouse here in New York City. A wonderful company that's been devoted to exploring the very diverse culture and surprising history of theater in the United States. Theater was being written before Thornton Wilder and Eugene O'Neill. Did a wonderful job during the pandemic with a virtual playhouse, ran a one-act play every week for a year and a half. This guy is superior. Directed, acted, written, and taught across the United States and the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you the fabulous Alex Rowe. Oh, now,
What a buildup. Thank you, Mike. Hi, Ken. Hi, everyone.
Hello, Alex.
good to have you here, Alex.
May I give a shout out to the Metrophiles in the audience? I'm so grateful to all these Metropolitan fans for showing up, and I want to encourage them to know more about freestyle repertory theater and synergy theater. You know, we work on our shows for 50, maybe 100 years, and it's still pretty hit or miss when we stage them, whereas you guys make them up on the spot, and it's always wonderful. So I want everyone to know you better. Thanks,
Yes.
everyone, for being here.
Very kind of you. Very kind of you. Well, thank you. We couldn't be happier to have you with us. Now, listen, all you playwrights, right? Come on back on the screen, will you?
All right, now,
Adventures of
audience,
Sybil.
this is where I suggest you open your chat feature if you haven't done so already, because each playwright is now going to ask you for a suggestion to kickstart their play. And when they do, if you have an idea, write it into the chat. That's how you'll communicate with the playwright.
All right, so get those chat up. Now we're going to go according to like how we introduce people. So I think Laura Livingston, what would you like for our audience members to type into their chat feature a kind of inspiration for you? What kind of inspiration would you like?
All right. In the way my life is going right now is I got a lot of stuff going on. Everything that shut down during the pandemic that I mourned the loss of has come back with a vengeance, plus a couple of things that developed during the pandemic and are still going on. And so and then, you know, we sprung ahead and had an hour less in the day. So everywhere I look, I see things I haven't done, that I haven't gotten ready, that for all of this wonderful stuff that at last finally is back. So that's what would inspire me, is to find out what other people have left undone that they ought to have done. So if you could just type that into the chat.
All right. As people are offering their suggestions in the chat, DG, if I could ask you to kindly turn your camera off at the moment. DG Duffy, if you could turn your camera off at the moment.
Yeah.
I see, I'm getting some suggestions here.
Yeah.
Lost Delights. Someone was actually planning to organize photos. Are you kidding me? Houses,
Man,
trips to IKEA, romantic involvements. Somebody
that's
forgot
good.
to do
That's
that.
good. I like
Sorting
that.
papers, cleaning the grout in the tub, cleaning up the stray cat spit I heard in the middle of the night. Man, I know that one. Yeah. Going to restaurants. I think that cleaning up the stray cat spit I heard in the middle of the night is what I'm going to take.
All right.
Habit
All
of
right.
washing every day. Same here. Yeah.
All right. Cleaning up the cat spit. And
There goes my blockbuster movie idea.
a shout out to EJ. She's here.
Thank you. It's stray cat spit.
Now, next was, I believe, I think it was the lovely cat carpet, was it not?
Yes, I believe so. Well, I'm inspired by Alex Rowe, referencing hundreds of years of work on plays. I'm wondering what genre of play or story you are hoping to see tonight.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Genres. It's also maybe an object, just
Oh.
All right, a genre and an object.
fairy tale, gothic romance, and a ruby ring. Satire, teapot, melodrama. I think I'm going to take fairy tale and teapot.
Well, now, I think I've seen that play, Fairy Tale and Teapot. Okay.
I have to say, horror and green boot has had my hair standing on end already.
Oh, gosh.
Bill Marcelli. Now, thousands of things inspire you. What would you like our audience to inspire you with?
Well, let's see. How about two things? Suggest either one or both, and we'll see how it goes. An uncommon profession and an heirloom of some kind.
An heirloom and an
Yeah.
uncommon
Uncommon
profession.
profession and or an heirloom. Let's see
All
what
right.
comes up. Advisor to the king. Okay.
Yes,
Uh,
that would be, yeah. Yes, I think I've ruined my glasses. Um,
did I stump everyone? Okay. Butterfly collector, grandfather clock. Tune rider for ice cream trucks, dog's paw.
Dog's paw,
Circus
look at that.
clown, silver ring with snakes engraved on it. All right, I'll tell you what, I will take advisor to the king and silver ring with snakes engraved on it.
Advisor to the king and
and if I can-
silver snakes.
And if I can possibly incorporate any of these others as little Easter eggs, I'll try and do that as well. So
A silver ring, okay. And I think now that we come to Mr. Alex Rowe, some kind of, a lot of your friends are out there, Alex, so.
I know it to be true.
Yeah, let's see
Most,
what happens.
all of my friends actually are there right now. I'm fixated on the equinox and the balance between day and night. So I would like, and this, you can take this however you like. I would like a suggestion related to balance, things you keep in balance, things that must be balanced, wherever that goes. What needs balancing?
What needs balance?
Nice peanut butter and jelly, wonderful. A little expert. And here you go, yo-yo. Boy, it did not take much to get these going. Checkbooks, scales, fish, snake, and the law. That's a lot. Food, fatty foods and salads. My mind as well, EJ. My mind as well. I can't get past id and ego, which anyone who knows me well knows is true. So id and ego it is for me.
All right. Excellent, you guys. And if I may say to the audience, nice job, audience. Really nice job, audience. So
All
now,
right. So in just a few minutes now, even less, we are going to send the four of you away to begin writing your plays, but keep an eye on your text because all through the 45 minutes during our Writer's Jam, we are going to be sending you back suggestions, which we hope you will incorporate into your plays just as soon as you see them. All right. Can we rehab not rehab, but go over the suggestions one more time? Laura, what was your suggestion?
Cleaning up the stray cat spit I heard in the middle of the night.
Kat, what did you have?
I asked for a genre and an object, and I took fairy tale and teapot.
Excellent. Bill, what do you got over there?
I asked for an uncommon profession and an heirloom, and I took advisor to the king and silver ring with snakes on it.
Excellent. Alex, what do you got?
I wanted something that needed balancing, and I got id and ego.
All right.
Awesome job.
Everybody's got a couple. So the time has come, has it not?
Yes, it has. All right. You're going digital, I'm going old school, and we'll see. We'll balance out old school and digital. All right, are the writers ready?
On your marks.
All right, go ahead, Michael. You send them off.
On your marks, get set, right away.
All right, they are off. And now we'd like to invite everybody to come back on screen. It is time for the Writer's Jam. Hello, Stephen. Hello, everybody.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Look at that. Julia's here. Hey, good. EJ,
it is awesome to see you all. Let's see, who is here for the first time? If you're here for the first time, give a little bit of a wave. Sharon, it's very nice to have you here. Oh, Braca, thank you. It's very nice to have you here. Well, this Alex
Ben, it looks like Ben's the first timer.
Yeah, this Alex Rowe guy must be something, huh?
I think so.
All right. So, folks, we're going to dig into our writing workshop. As we said earlier, it's probably a good idea to do this with a pen and a piece of paper as opposed to typing on the keyboard. You'll be able to be a little bit more spontaneous and also just keep your eye on what's happening on the screen. So we're going to start off with a couple of spontaneous writing exercises that are fun and easy, just to get the juices flowing. And as a reminder, there's no right or wrong. We're not trying to entertain each other or perform for each other. This is just an opportunity for us to have fun, accepting our own creativity. So this first exercise is called 3 questions. I'm going to ask 3 questions. You're just going to write down the answers. Anything you say is correct. Then we'll go back and I'll work with one person at a time. If you would like to volunteer, and I'll ask the question and you read out your answer. I'll ask the question and you read out your answer, right? So here we go. Is everybody ready to write? If you want to come on screen, come on screen. Now's the time. Yes, Michael Durkin.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm psyched.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Let's do it. Where was she going? Write the answer to that. Where was she going? Why was she going there? What surprising thing did she find? There you go. See how easy that is? All right. Who would like to read out their answers in response to the question? All right, Steve Smith, here we go. Where was she going?
To hell.
Why is she going there?
She's going there to rescue her cat.
What did she find there that was surprising?
Her cat is Satan.
Excellent job. Who's next? Who would like to
that's where
read
all cats
out
belong. Okay.
your answers? Who is next? It's so much fun. You've got to do it. How about Karen Harrell? All right, here we go. Where was she going?
To a luau.
Why was she going there?
She was on a Hawaiian vacation.
What did she find that was surprising?
Her boss was at the luau.
Excellent job. All right. Hey, Sharon, how about it? You want to give it a shot for us? All right, you can do it. Here we go. Sharon, where was she going?
To the creek
Why was she going there?
to find her lost frog.
And what did she find there that was surprising?
A beautiful collection of butterflies. Who knew?
Excellent job.
I
Excellent
love
job. All right, let's do
Good.
one more on this one, then I'll ask 3 more questions. So, EJ, you got it. EJ, where was she going?
Chippendales
Why was she going there?
to catch her next husband.
And what did she find there that was surprising?
Too many people with the same idea.
All right. Excellent job. Everybody shake out your fingers. Let's do it one more time. 3 questions, 3 answers. Write quickly. Don't think about it. Here we go. What was in the picture on the wall? What was in the picture on the wall? Who was staring at it? Who was staring at the picture? What was their secret plan? What was their secret plan? All right, great job. Hey, Bracha, you want to read for us? You could do it.
Sure.
It was on the picture on the wall.
A lost treasure.
Who was staring at it?
A panhandler.
And what was the secret plan?
To get in at night and steal it.
Excellent job. Thank you very much. Hey, Julia, how about it? Will you read for us?
Okay.
You can do it. All right, here we go. What was in the picture on the wall?
4 dancing penguins.
Who was staring at it?
A hungry polar bear.
And what was their secret plan?
Instacart from Seal Filet.
Excellent job. All right, one more. How about Benjamin? You want to read for us, sir?
Sure.
All right, thank you so much. Here we go. What was in the picture on the wall?
Mummy,
Who was staring at it?
King Tut.
And what was his secret plan?
To steal and sell it.
Excellent job. Excellent job.
You can't
All
trust
right.
King Tut. You can't.
If you're off screen and you now see how fun and easy this is, come on screen and join us, or at least I hope you're doing the work off screen there. Let's move on to another exercise, okay? And I'm going to keep control of the game for just a few moments here. This next exercise is called an interesting connection. An interesting connection. So here's how it works. I'm going to say two objects, two unrelated things. And your job is to write, you don't have to write this part, but think this part. You know, there's an interesting connection between A and X, and then you write down spontaneously what it is. The simpler, the better. For example, if the two suggestions were penguins and chairs, don't think too hard. You know, there's an interesting connection between penguins and chairs. Penguins like to sit in chairs. Super simple, super easy. And don't waste time writing down there's an interesting connection between. Just write the interesting connection. But when you read it, then if you don't mind, it's fun to hear you say, you know, there's an interesting connection between blah, 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 blah. All right, here we go. I'm going to give 3 pairs of things. Write down an interesting connection for each pair of these things, and then we will read some out loud. And then, Michael, after this exercise, it's probably time to start thinking about sending our first suggestion back to our writers in the writing room.
Most certainly is.
All right, here we go. Here is the first pair of things. Scissors and alligators. Scissors and alligators. Here is the second pair of things. Libraries and meteors. Libraries and meteors. And finally, our third set of things, gymnasiums and ladybugs. Gymnasiums and ladybugs.
Oh, yes. There's an interesting connection between all of those, I think.
All right. Here we go. So here's how it works. Let's see who's going to read first for us. Hey, Bracha. Now that I see you, you happen to be located in the box right under me. So I'm always going to default to you. So here we go. I'll say, you know, Bracha, I was thinking about X and Y, and then you'll say, you know, there's an interesting connection between that, and then tell us what. So, you know, Bracha, I was thinking about scissors and alligators.
Oh, yeah, there's an interesting connection between them. You know, they both have an open mouth.
Nice.
Excellent job. Very good. Well, you know, I also happen to be thinking about libraries and meteors.
Wow, do they both have an impact or what?
I feel like Bud Abbott here. Good job. All right. And, you know, I was also thinking about gymnasiums and ladybugs.
Movement.
Excellent job. They both move. All right. Very nice. Who else would like to read out their interesting connections? Steve Smith. Here we go. Hey, Steve, I was thinking about scissors and alligators.
There's an interesting connection between them. They both cut things.
Excellent job. Yes, they do. You know, I was also thinking about libraries and meteors.
Oh, there's an interesting connection between those two things. They both light up your world.
Oh, that's so sweet. I was thinking also about gymnasiums and ladybugs.
There's an interesting connection there as well. The ancient Greeks loved both of those things.
Beautiful job.
Didn't know that. Oh.
Okay, we can read a few more of these in a moment, but I think we should do our first suggestion. Michael, do you want to take it for a moment?
Now, just for those of you who may not know, what we're going to do now is we're going to infuse each one of these plays that are being spontaneously written by a suggestion that we're all going to come up. We're going to come up with this suggestion and feed it to them. They got to put it in their play. So once again, it's time to open up that chat box. And here's what I suggest we send to them. One character has a repetitive physical movement. What would that repetitive physical movement be that one character does for the whole, at least for the 40 minutes? Jazz dance? That's exactly what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of a repetitive jumping.
Picks at a scar on their
Yeah,
elbow.
picks at a scar at the elbow. I'm kind of heading towards that one. We'll see. Blinking, Natasha, I like that one. Blinking is also good. These are good. Twisting rings on fingers. Keeps looking. I love these. Keeps licking their top lip repeatedly. You know what? Unequal flexing of the elbow. All these are so good. I'm hooked on one of them.
All right, which one is it?
I'm gonna go. I gotta go with this one. Picks at a scar on their elbow.
All right, I'm going to send back a text to all of them. I'm giving them 33 minutes remaining. I'm going to say stage direction.
A character picks at their elbow.
A character repeatedly picks at a scab.
I want to say hi to Jed.
Their
Jed, how you doing, buddy?
elbow. All right, that is sent back to them. They'll incorporate those in their plays. Let's read 2 or 3 more of the interesting connections, and then I'll turn it over to Mike for the next exercise in our Writer's Jam.
Cool.
Hey, Jed, how about it? You want to read for us? I'll set it up for you. So here we go. Hey, Jed, I was thinking about scissors and alligators.
Well, alligators need to be taught how to carry scissors or they'll get hurt.
Yes, that's true. They're always running with them, aren't they? I was also thinking about libraries and meteors.
They're both not boring.
That's true.
Excellent job. And finally, I was thinking about gymnasiums and ladybugs.
The ladybugs have been having a very hard time recently finding a gymnasium that has small enough equipment.
That is true. All right.
True.
Is there anyone else super eager to read their interesting connections? If not, after the whole thing is over, we hang out, we have a little talk back, a little chat session. If you want to save some stuff and read it, then you're welcome to do that as well. Michael, I'm going to flip it over to you for the next part of the jam.
Okay, now here's the next thing we're going to do. We're going to create a scene between 2 people. I will be one of the people, and you will be the other people. I've written down my lines, so I'm going to say what I say. Then whatever your response is to me, write that down. I have a one-sided scene. Let's make it a 2-sided scene. So get that pencil ready, because here comes my first line of the scene. Here we go. I didn't expect to see you here. And what do you say? This is very awkward. Well, I'm open to anything that would relieve the tension of this situation. That is very clever. You have never shown that kind of insight before. We should reevaluate our circumstances. I'm glad you're here. The end. And that brings our scene to the end.
I'm crying already from just hearing the one side.
So who wants to do a scene with me? I'd love to do a scene with somebody. Steve, you up for it? Good, good. And then I think Sharon wants to try it out too. So Steve, you and me first. You ready?
All right.
I didn't expect to see you here.
I've been following you.
This is very awkward.
I love you.
Well, I'm open to any idea that might relieve the tension of this situation.
Let's dance.
That is very clever. You know, you have never shown that kind of insight before.
I've been taking dance lessons to surprise you.
You know, we should really evaluate our circumstances.
We should dance.
I'm so glad you're here.
I'm so glad you're here.
Bravo, bravo.
Oh, man. We're headed towards Obie Awards here. We're headed towards Obie. Sharon, you up for it? Here we go. Now, how are we doing on time? Is it?
Yeah, we're good.
We're good? Okay. Okay. Here we go, Karen. I didn't expect you to be here.
Well, why did you send me a gold embossed invitation?
This is very awkward.
Oh, your son sent the invitation, didn't he?
I'm very open to any idea you might have to relieve this tension of the situation.
Let me adopt your son.
That is a very clever idea. You know, you've never shown that kind of insight before, Sharon.
Marry me, Theodore.
We should reevaluate our circumstances.
Okay, that's just gaslighting.
Well, I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, total effing gaslighting.
Oh, I love the movement. The emotional movement of that scene was wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you, Sharon. Who else? Let's do more scenes. I love doing scenes. All right, Braca, here we go.
And right after this scene, we'll get another suggestion.
Okay, okay.
And then we
Braca,
can keep reading.
Okay. All right. Braca, you ready to do it here? Here we go. Well, I didn't expect to see you here.
Well, I didn't expect to be here.
This is very awkward.
I got here first.
Well, I'm open to any ideas you might have to relieve this situation.
Here's my pet iguana.
Well, that's clever. You know, you never showed me that insight or that iguana before, Braca.
Well, you're my pet project.
We should really evaluate these circumstances here.
In the next World War.
Well, I'm glad you're here.
I am too.
Very nice.
All right.
Very nice. Very nice. So, do you have a suggestion? You've got an idea for
yeah.
Okay.
All right. We have 25 minutes remaining for the playwright. So we're going to send them back a line of dialogue that everyone will incorporate into their play. I'll start the line of dialogue. You finish it. The line of dialogue is, "You fool, you fool. I'm really..." Go ahead and put that in chat. "You fool, I'm really..." Your doctor, your alter ego. Let's go with your alter ego. That's awesome. All right. So I'm going to send it back. And Mike, why don't you continue reading some scenes while I offer this to them?
I am truly digging this scene stuff. Who else would like to read that a scene with me? EJ, let's do this. Here we go.
Okay.
I didn't expect to see you here.
Oh, I've been trailing you since Bank Street.
This is very awkward.
I made you some tomato and chutney sandwiches.
Well, I'm open to any idea that might relieve the tension of the situation.
Good. Move over and let me have a sip of your Capri Sun.
Oh, well, that's very clever. You have never shown that kind of insight before.
Well, this is true love after all.
We should reevaluate our circumstances.
Fine, Harold. Then you think of the next thing to spice up our marriage.
How about a bird? Or, I'm glad you're here.
Eat your sandwiches, Harold. When a wife brings her husband lunch.
A wife brings her husband lunch. I love it. I love it. I'm not sure I got everybody on my screen here, but I would love to read more if somebody would like to. Anybody else want to read their scene with me? Otherwise, Karen, by the way, is a world famous film actress. So this is a kind of an audition for me. And I want very much to be in her next movie. Are you ready, Miss Harrell?
Yes.
All right. I didn't expect to see you here.
My car's in the shop.
Well, this is very awkward.
I know. This is the bus you normally take.
Well, I'm open to any ideas that might relieve this tension.
Could I take your hand?
Oh, that's very clever. You've never shown that kind of insight before.
The palm tells all.
We should really evaluate our circumstances.
Your lifeline says we're on different paths.
And I'm glad you're here.
Me too. Gotta get off. They've called my stop.
Sweet, you guys. This was fun. I'm having a good time. All right. I'm looking at Julia. I'm looking at Ben. I'm looking at Zen. I'm looking at all these people. Or should we move on? Should we do another exercise? Or
all right. Anybody else dying to read their scene? All right.
All right, I'll read. I'll finish.
Okay. Zen, go ahead. Michael and Zen.
Here we go. This could be our last time, Zen, or our last hurrah here. You ready? Here it is.
Yep.
Well, I didn't expect to see you here.
Well, I had a play to go to.
This is very awkward.
Well, I would have invited you, but I forgot your number.
Well, I'm open to any ideas, Anne, that you might have to relieve these tension.
I'll give you a call tomorrow, I promise.
Yeah, that's very clever. You've never shown that kind of insight before.
It's because I'm a little high.
We should reevaluate our circumstances.
Okay, let's do lunch.
I'm glad you're here.
Listen, I got to take my cat to the vet.
That's awesome.
All right, you guys, too much fun. We're having too much fun. Oh, we just did a suggestion to the
yeah, we are good with suggestions. We can send one back anytime in the next 5 minutes.
Okay, all right.
But
should we move on to another exercise?
Yeah, let's move on. So this is just another thinking outside of the box type of exercise, but I hesitate to use the word thinking because we really don't want you to think. So it's just a way to shake up the brain. Here's how it's going to work. I'm going to say something that is not usually associated with a color. Your job is to just imagine that thing and discover what its color is, and then use it in a sentence. But write a sentence in which you use that color as an adjective. So for example, let's say I say headache, and then I think, oh, red. For some reason, headache is red. Then I might write something like, her blazing red headache stabbed her in the temple, or something like that. So I'm going to say something that's not usually associated with a color. Just give it a moment until you discover what color this thing is, and then write a sentence in which you use that as a descriptor. Okay, so I will give 3 words. We'll do it 3 times, and then we will read some of it out loud. Okay, so here we go. Thursday. Next word, youth. Y-O-U-T-H, youth.
Youth.
And last word, literature. Literature. All right, so let's go. Somebody just read out. I won't even give you the prompts. It's Thursday, youth and literature. Someone just read out the 3 sentences you wrote in which you described these things in reference to that color. Who would like to give it a shot? All right, Bracha, thank you.
Green, the go sign for the weekend. Youth in blazing blue energy. Literature is well read.
That's very charming. All right, excellent job. Somebody else, please go. Who would like to give it a shot? Now, anything at all.
I'll
It doesn't
just
even
go.
need to make sense. Who's talking?
It was a glorious blue Thursday.
Beautiful.
He was young and yellow.
Yeah.
The book was dark and black.
Oh, very, very nice. All right. How about one more? And then we'll do it again with 3 more words. Yes, Steve, thank you. Oh, I'm sorry, Steve, you're on mute.
I was muted. Okay. A white Thursday kept the schools closed.
Very nice.
Youthful pink-eyed salamander gave birth at my feet.
Beautiful.
The writer's words turned into pocket green.
Excellent job. Beautiful. Oh my goodness. All right. Very good. Well, we can keep doing this again, but I do think we might want to stop for a suggestion. What do you think, Mike?
I think it's time for kind of an all-encompassing sort of change.
Okay.
So here's what I'd like to have us do. Let's give some suggestions to what could be almost a global environmental or setting change. Something changes in the environment that these characters are in. It's huge. What is that change? And I've got to find where the...
All right. I'm seeing sky color. The sky turns purple.
Oh, the sky seems to be a
mass extinction of ladybugs. The city came under fire. Tsunami. People declare peace. They're at the second moon.
I'm gonna grab a couple of these. Boy, wait! I tell you, look at this. Is great. A call for prayer. Oh man. I was looking for something kind of visual. I love this call for prayer, but I'm going to go with what was the one about moon?
There is a second moon.
A second moon in the purple sky, or a second moon and a purple sky, something like that. Something.
All right.
A couple of them together.
Okay. Let me give the 3 words. We'll get started on this exercise and then I'll send it back. So everybody ready? Here we go. The first word is hunger. Hunger. The next word is laughter. And the final word is grief.
Ooh.
What was the last one?
Grief. Grief.
Thank you.
All right, let's read a few out, then we'll go on to a new exercise. Mike, maybe we jump right to the letter, to your next activity of writing that letter.
Oh, okay.
Based on the timing I'm looking at.
Okay, all right.
Okay. All right, you want to read out loud for us?
Yeah.
We have hunger, laughter, and grief. Karen, did I see you volunteering there or no? No.
I got one.
Okay, let's go Mike Durkin, then Karen Harrell.
All right, I got pale hunger. I don't know if that qualifies.
Yeah, sure.
Pale hunger. I got crimson laughter. And I got, and I wonder how many others have this, gray grief.
Gray grief. Beautiful. Excellent job. Karen, go ahead. And if you have a sentence with them, go ahead and read them in the sentence.
Okay. The caterpillar ate the leaves with green hunger. The silvery laughter escaped her lips. Forest green grief hung in the air at the funeral.
Wow. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much. All right. Sharon, did I see your hand go up there?
Okay, her purple hunger had her craving grapes. The puppies awoke to the 9-year-old's orange laughter. Her gray grief deepened to a muddy red.
Oh,
wow.
Oh, nice.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So is one's hunger the color of whatever they are wanting to eat? Is that how it works?
In a fun world. Yeah, you can't eat anything unless you feel that color.
Beautiful job. Let's have one more and then we'll go ahead, Julia.
Okay, this got a little dark, sorry.
That's all right.
A grim white hunger gripped his heart, while a buoyant yellow laughter shook the audience. And he collected his juggling balls and slunk away in a black cloud of grief and shame.
Wow.
Oh, man, a story.
Beautiful.
That was a story.
All right, my friends. I think, Michael, if you took a moment to set up what will probably be the final activity, we can set it up, then get a suggestion, and then get everybody started writing.
All right. Yeah.
The suggestion. Well, no. I think, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. What were we going to say?
Well, I'm just not sure if is it smarter to send back a suggestion right now, but we just did one a short while ago.
Yeah.
All right.
Why don't we set it up, send a suggestion, do the writing.
All right.
All right, here we go. Here, and this will involve a little more use of the pencil and the paper because it's a little more extensive. What we thought might be interesting is for you all and us, if we have an opportunity, to write a letter. Write a letter to your young self, or write a letter to your older self. So however you might want to interpret which way to go with that, have a grand old time. Before we do that, though, this is the time for a suggestion. I just send it to the writers.
Yeah, we have 9 minutes remaining. 9 minutes remaining for them to write.
Okay. So should we give them a suggestion?
Yes. Do you have Sharon is asking, is there a theme for the letter? Michael, for the exercise, is there a theme for the letter, or is it just anything one would like to say to those people?
Yeah, I don't think there's a theme. I don't rule anything out. So if you feel a theme, go with the theme. But it's more, the only thing I came up with, or what Ken and I came up with, was just to write a letter to who you used to be, or write a letter to who you aspire to be, or foresee yourself to be. Yeah, I think whatever theme you want to go with is go with it.
All right.
Have you got something to send to the writers?
Yeah, sure. How about a character is one of the characters is suddenly filled with an extreme emotion. What emotion is a character suddenly filled with? Awe, terror, jealousy, pain. Let's do terror. That sounds like it'll encourage some action. So I'm going to give them 8 minutes and terror. And Mike, you take it away and get these folks writing.
And I don't think there's much more I can say except this is it. It's a short letter to who you were or who you will become. And we'll take about 3 minutes and just have a grand old time. Ready, get set, go. You have 1 minute left, about. In about 30 seconds now. All right, I'm starting to think this exercise is more therapy. Is it? Oh, you were a fool. Dear Michael, you were a fool. You wasted the first 30 years of your life drinking and carousing. No wonder you got gray hair and can't move more. No, what? I'm sorry. That's my letter. That's my letter. I'm sorry.
Now grow up and grow a beard.
Well, who wants to, I'd love to hear something.
Oh.
Steve, go, let us hear this one, Steve. I want to hear it.
Make sure I'm not muted. To future me, I'm sorry about the gut. We like pie. If I'd been a more dedicated person, you'd be a better man. But we're lazy. You're sitting down right now and reading this and eating chocolate cream pie. No. But don't wait for me to change your life, because someday you're going to be writing to your future self, and you want something better than this to write about.
Awesome. Forgive me, before we go on to the next one, there are 3 minutes left. I think we're going to close off the suggestions and just give them a final 3-minute warning and let them finish our plays. And we have 3 minutes more to read some stuff. All right.
Excellent. Who else would like to read off their letter to themselves? I know go for it, Sharon.
Get unmuted. Okay. Dear future self, thanks for finally getting your shit together. My place has never been more prepped for spontaneous company, and I love how your life is surrounded by deeply creative people. Also, thanks for finally getting rid of that old sweatshirt. It was never going to be back in style. You were so right. I was so right about that. Hope you're still enjoying the good things in life and are able to handle those annoying robots. Sorry I didn't save more so you could get the advanced model. Peace out, sister.
Those damn robots, yeah, I tell you, they're so annoying. There they come now. I'd love that. Who else now would like to read a little something about their past or their future, or go for it, Karen?
I'll go to future self. Dear me, how's it going? Drinking enough water? How was that trip to Australia? Swimming in the ocean must have been scary and exciting at the same time. You always feel so free in the water. Glad you took the trip and stopped hesitating. The future is unforeseeable and uncontrollable. Looking forward to meeting you. P.S. Remember to feed the cat.
Great. We have about a minute and a half. We could squeeze in 1 or 2 more if anybody. I would have not. I didn't write anything, but I would have gone backwards. Everybody so far has gone future self. Oh, wait a second. You going backwards, Julian?
Yeah,
all right, go backwards.
It's
go
real
backwards.
short.
What's that?
It's real short.
Okay.
Dear younger self, just frickin' wear that bikini.
All right, we have just under a minute remaining. If somebody wants to squeeze in one more, go ahead, Benjamin.
Go for it, Ben.
Dear younger Ben, you really should be a little bit more careful of how you spend your money. Spending bus fare money on candy and not being able to get home on a bus is not a good idea.
How often has that happened to me? I don't know.
I love that.
You guys, this has been a wonderful jam. You've been very free with your writings and your feelings and stuff, and it's just been delightful. Great suggestions, a whole list of wonderful suggestions that we could have chosen to send to our playwrights. We picked a couple, and let's see what they've done with them. I think it's time to corral those guys back in here, Ken.
All right, I'm going to send them a comeback text.
Yep.
That's it. Boom. Come back. Come back.
Come back, everybody. Come back.
Come back.
Come back.
They start cheating now. Yeah, they start. Let me just rewrite this last paragraph a little different.
All right, Alex is back.
All right, there's a
Bill is back.
Bill's back. Where are those gals? Get those gals back here. We had a wonderful jam, fellas. We had great. It's just one. It's always fun. It's just always fun. I did have a game I wanted to do that we didn't do. I'll save it for next time.
Because we will be back next month.
That is 100% correct. We will be. I could yell to Laura Livingston. I could do that.
Come back.
But I think we can go ahead and just say what's going to happen, right?
All right, I'm going to pop those links into the chat.
Or that's right. The freestyle. There's a right away afterwards, which is a website that's available to you to go and chat with all of us who kind of frequent that website and talk about your experiences here, share whatever you want to share, your writings, whatever. That's the Facebook. And I guess both your Synergy Theater and Freestyle Reps websites will also be there if you want to check out what we're doing. Ken and Synergy is very active out there and doing some great stuff. And we're kind of dormant here. We're in schools a lot. We do have a Sunday show that we do a lot. So it's all there on our websites if you'd like to check it out.
And finally, our next show is next month, April 17th. So we'd love you all to come back and do Right Away with us again. And you can register right at that link that I just put in the chat right over there.
Yeah. So I don't know where the gals are. Are they back?
Yeah. Yes. Kat and Laura are on screen with us.
Oh, they are. Okay. I'm sorry. I've got it. So listen, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a 10-minute break. It's now in New York. It's like 25 after 8. So it's 25 after whatever hour you're at. We're going to come back at 25 to the next hour, or 35 minutes past whatever hour we're all at. And then we're going to read cold readings of these 4 plays. Have a wonderful time for the next 10 minutes. Take a break, refresh your drinks, whatever. Check our websites out. If you care to make a contribution to any of our websites, to either of our 2 theaters, that would be wonderfully appreciated. And otherwise than that, we're going to go away. You can stay on and just watch the craziness that's going to happen in the next 10 minutes, because it does get kind of goofy. But in other words, 10 minutes, intermission time, y'all. Have a good time.
All right. We'll see everybody back in 10 minutes. Playwrights, are you ready to cast your plays for us? Why don't we go right in order then? Laura Livingston?
Okay. I apologize for my play. Did you just say we're dormant? Did you just say we are dormant? Did I hear you say that?
I did say we're dormant. I'm sorry.
He meant adorable.
You don't get to be in my play.
Fighting words.
Kat, would you be person number 1 in my play? And Alex, would you be person number 2? They're a married couple, kind of neurotic. And my play is terrible. Sorry, but
cut it now. You see, I'm going to cut you off there too. Miss Kat Coppett?
Yes.
What would you like in your play? What would you cast in your play?
All right. That is a hard one. I would like, I'm going to try to add a title this time. Let's see. Could I have Laura, would you read Pip?
Pip like a joint? Pip?
Pip, she's a fairy tale girl. And Ken, would you read first it's Voice, then it's Orville, who's a chipmunk, and then it's Orville Pip 2.
Are those all different characters?
No, it's all the same character.
Okay.
It's different.
Okay, I got you. Voice, Orville, and Orville Pip 2. Got it.
Is that it, or are there more?
That's it.
Many. Bill, what do you got there?
Okay. Let's see. I would like Michael, I'd like you to read King Otto.
Say that name again.
King Otto.
Oh, King Otto.
King Otto. Ken, would you read The Jester?
How
Pat,
many times have we done this play?
Pat, would you read Princess Hess, who I think only has one line? I'll read these stage directions and it's one or two like background lines that happen, but those are the three roles. So
okay, Alex.
All right, Laura Livingston.
No, Alex.
Nope. Sorry.
No, Alex.
Alex.
Got it. Yes. So my play is called Ellery and Cousin's Son, and there are Ellery and Izzy. Sorry, I'm just torn. If Laura, would you read Izzy, please? And it's a toss-up. Who's reading a lot? Who's not reading a lot?
Bill Marsili's not reading.
Bill Marsili isn't. Yeah.
Oh well, it's perfect, Bill. I'm glad to have the option. Bill Marsili, would you please read Ellery?
Ellery.
They're identified as E and I in the script. You'll see. Okay.
All right. We are all tapped. We have 5 minutes remaining until we're back. Everybody, please email your scripts and be sure to reply all to that email so everybody gets it. And everybody, go ahead and download those scripts, even if you're not in that play, because you never know if you'll be called to understudy at the last minute.
All right. Back in a mo.
Laura did email the link.
I'm using the emails from last time because I don't seem to be able to find the new one. Is it the same? Everybody's the same place?
No, Mike's not in that. I sent it to both your addresses.
I just sent you my play, so if you respond to that, you should have it if you get my play.
Actually, I guess didn't like it. Yeah, thank you, Kat. I don't know why I can't find the email that I received earlier today, but I can't. Nor am I getting this one. What is this? Maybe I guess my internet can't be down, right?
No. Let me double check with you about the addresses. I put in
No, you're fine. Because I got the email. It's somehow I'm not loading any of my emails from today. So what am I looking at here? There it is. Everything is back to normal.
I've gotten Cat's play. That's the only play that I've gotten so far.
Is Word okay with everybody, or should I PDF?
Yeah, no, Word is great.
Thanks all. I'm sorry to be such a problem tonight.
Tonight?
I have to try harder
why-
if you want to be a problem.
Why should this be any different from any other? What's special about this deck?
Oh no, I don't want that. I don't want that.
Okay, hold on. Save as PDF. Ding, ding, ding.
Kind of whine, but once again,
Mhm. We're trying to come back in 3 minutes, everybody. 3 minutes.
and so far, all I've gotten is Cats.
Do that.
I have only received cats at this point as well.
I just sent mine. It took me that long. I had to sign back in. Oh, I got Alex's and Kat's.
Mine is forthcoming. Just a sec.
Oh, I see Cat's play. I mean, I see Alex.
It's like we've never seen email before. Ooh, look at Paul. Look, Paul, I got it.
I don't think I've gotten Alex's.
All right.
I think my modem is down.
Oh.
Okay, I have Laura's, Kat's, and Ellery and Cousins. Whose is Ellery and Cousins' son?
That's Alex's.
That's Alex. Okay, great.
All right, and Bill's. I got Bill's.
I don't always have them.
I have Pat, Alex, and that's it so far.
Mine came after theirs, so maybe it's on its way. Okay, I gotta open mine. I closed mine.
I got them all, everybody. What's
I
Alex?
do not have one from Laura.
No?
No.
I just closed my email and opened it again, and that produced them all for me. So I don't know if that helps anybody else, but that's what made it work.
It helps me feel better, certainly.
There's 4 of us, so each of us should be getting 3 scripts, right?
Yes. And
It's
you-
not vital, Laura, because I'm not reading anything from yours, but it's not yet shown up.
How weird. In rehearsal, I didn't get yours until after we'd started reading. So, but I got yours
Oh.
too. So
All right.
don't know why mine's
And
not.
I'm still waiting for Bill's.
But other people have gotten it, right?
I got it.
I got Bill.
I never got yours in rehearsal, Laura. It was kind of amazing. It worked out so well.
Yeah, you read very well. It was much better than what I wrote.
Bill's
All right,
is
now I have
titled.
Bill's.
Oh, okay, all right, all right.
Bill's
So
shut
how
up.
we do?
Mine shut up.
How
All right, we have 30 seconds, everybody. 30 seconds.
This is what you really should. This is the price of admission right here.
God.
All right, how we feeling? Everybody good?
If I had ever won a writing award, they would take it away from me for having written what you're going to read.
You
I
guys,
think
you
we're
guys
all feeling like that.
you guys
Mine's
are
worse.
so-
Mine's worse.
Mine's
All
worse.
right, save these for the reviews.
Gosh, I had the best night I've ever had.
There you go. That's
All
the kind
right,
of
all right.
spirit I like.
Michael, I think we're ready. Are
That's
you
not
ready to
saying anything.
take it away?
Yes, you betcha. Audience, you're wondering, please come back, grab your refreshments and join us back in the theater. And once again, I just want to invite you to our webpage for Right Away called Right Away After Words. And that link is in the chat there so that you can download that and join us. And if you whatever you want to say, or if you want to post some of your writings from tonight that you weren't able to read, that would be fine too. Just want to continue that conversation about the show and writing in general.
Awesome job. So go ahead and join that Facebook group. We also ask that during the readings of the plays, which we're about to debut, you keep your cameras off and your microphones on mute. If you'd rather not see the names of all of us with our cameras off, you want to click on an option which is hide non-video participants. You can do that by moving your cursor to the lower left, click on video options, and scroll down to hide non-video participants. It's by that little video camera icon there, the caret menu. Hide non-video participants. Now that won't affect what the rest of us see, so you don't have to worry about that. At the end of each reading, though, it's fun to pop your camera back on for a moment and give the playwrights a round of applause.
And Rachel, I think, I don't know, Rachel, I think your video is still on, although maybe it's not, maybe I'm just seeing things.
Yes, no, I do think it is, Rachel. If you could try to turn your video off.
That'd be great. So let's review the suggestions that we fed to these playwrights as they were writing. And I've got a couple of them here. I'm not sure if I got all of them. I know the first one was one of the characters has a repetitive physical movement.
What?
I never saw that.
I never got that.
It was a character repeatedly picks at a scab on their elbow.
Oh, that's right. That was the suggestion. That was the suggestion.
A character repeatedly picks at a scab on their elbow. I've got them all right here, Mike.
All right, let go.
Then the next one was the line of dialogue. You fool, I'm really your alter ego. Then a second moon appears in a purple sky.
Thanks so much for that one. Thank you.
And then finally, a character is suddenly filled with abject terror. So once again, from the top, they were a character repeatedly picks at a scab on their elbow. You fool, I'm really your alter ego. A second moon appears in the purple sky, and a character is suddenly filled with abject terror. All right.
All right. So I think we're going to start this off. I believe Laura Livingston, you're our lead off for your play. So I'm going to let you take it all. And once again, do remind everybody of the suggestion that you got to kick off your play. But in the meantime, I'll be going away.
All right. The suggestion, I asked for something you've left undone that you ought to have done. And the suggestion I took was cleaning up the stray cat spit up I heard in the middle of the night. This play starts with a woman making breakfast. And I'll read the stage directions that you can't do without. Other than that, I'm just going to go away. And here we go.
Raymond, today's the big day. You know you can do it. What you envision becomes reality. Honey, are you getting up? You're going to be late for your interview. Raymond. Oh my.
What?
Are you all right?
I look bad, don't I?
You look wonderful. You look successful. You look like someone who's going to land a job today.
I look terrible. I look like someone who hasn't slept.
You look like a winner who's going to get
I haven't slept all night long. That stray cat was retching.
Just sit down and I'll fix you some
Puking.
some coffee, and soon you'll be
Hacking up like a sickening ball of
coffee and a nice bowl of
gelatinous
oatmeal.
slime. Yeah.
All right, eggs. Maybe the oatmeal isn't the nicest thing after the cat has been puking all night.
Fuck. I just stepped into the stray cat spit up I heard in the middle of the night.
Oh,
All night.
I knew I should have cleaned that up right away.
I stepped in it while wearing my socks.
Oh, I should have done it first thing. I wanted to manifest the perfect morning.
You're doing that picking thing.
I'll start the eggs.
I'll change my socks. First, I'll use them to clean up the stray cat spit. Then I'll change.
Or maybe I should do the toast.
Maybe, Beatrice, maybe first thing, get rid of the stray cat.
But nobody loves her, Raymond. Who will love her if we don't?
I can't think about that right now. I gotta get, oh, wow. Your elbow is really bleeding.
You fool, you fool. I'm really your alter ego.
You're my what?
I'm talking to the cat. She has what would be a lovely home, but she spits up in it and no one's going to love her.
I love you. Beatrice, how can you say no one loves you?
I'm messing up your interview. I took in a stray cat and she's been puking all night long and you haven't slept because of the puke sound.
You left the oatmeal on the stove.
And the oatmeal's burning and I'm bleeding all over the table because I pick at my elbow and you're going to be late for your interview because I'm making a mess of all of my manifestations.
Well, yes, all that's true. But to say I don't love you because of that? What is that?
What?
Look out the window there behind you. The sky's purple and there's a second moon.
It's beautiful.
You know it is. Did you manifest that?
Yes, I did. Before I started breakfast for you this morning, when I should have been cleaning up the stray cat puke, I hung that moon lantern on the patio because, you see, I knew you'd get this job, and when you came home tonight, we would celebrate with a special dinner out there. The purple sky is just a really beautiful sunrise. I don't think I made that happen.
It's beautiful. It's the most wonderful. How could I not love you?
If I made you breakfast on time.
I've never fallen in love with a short order cook, so why would I love you more if you made a better breakfast?
I cleaned up the stray cat puke.
I've done it with my socks. And it's not a stray. It's our cat. I can do anything. I'm off to land this job.
Raymond, put on your shoes and socks. Don't be barefoot.
Yuck!
There's more cat puke.
I know.
I'm sorry, I didn't clean it up. Good luck.
Thanks.
Here, kitty.
End of play.
I love that. I thought that was excellent.
Wonderful, wonderful,
Once
wonderful.
again, I'm saved by a good reading. Thank you. Thank you, Adam.
Awesome job. All right, and that was an excellent reading. Kat Coppett, are you ready for us?
I am. I also just have to say that could have been a video camera in my house. All right, here we go.
Kat, talk slow. I'm looking for the play. Talk slow.
All right. So I asked for the suggestions of a fairy tale and an object. And the object I got was a teapot. Now, you might think there's already a fairy tale with a teapot in it, which would be Beauty and the Beast. This is not that fairy tale. All right. Are you good?
Yeah. Is my camera on?
Your camera is on. This has nothing to do with that. This is a play called Nuts and Tea. And I will read the stage directions. Here we go. Pip wanders through the woods, searching for any scraps of nuts or fallen branches left behind. She is cold and hungry. She is giving up hope.
Oh, maybe here. Here?
There's nothing.
There is nothing. Not a single berry, not one nut. I shall surely starve.
Eventually, she slumps down on the icy ground against the stump of a cold tree, too tired and dejected to go on.
Or perhaps I shall just freeze. Not one dry branch, not one. But what is this?
Her hand has rested on something. She lifts it up. It's a bundled cache of nuts.
What is this? It's magic. My life is saved. Oh, glorious day.
She begins to unravel the leaf-wrapped treasure, and just as she's about to pop a nut into her mouth, she hears a voice cry out.
Oh, my
Who's that? My nuts. I found them.
My nuts! I buried them!
Well, too bad. I have them.
Pippa stands up, clasping the nuts to her breast. She looks around.
They're mine! They're mine! Oh, woe is me! Oh, we shall all die!
Die? Who shall die? Who are you?
Here! I'm here!
Pip looks around behind the tree, up and back and forth, and finally down again, and there is Orville, a shivering chipmunk.
Oh, my goodness, there you are. What are you, a gerbil?
A chipmunk! Sheesh! And those nuts are mine!
Well, I'm sorry, but I need these nuts. I'm sure you'll be fine. You're very small and a woodland creature. I've been traveling for days, and I'm a very good and special person who's not used to these conditions. I've had terrible trials. I've escaped an evil stepmother and then goblins who came after me. I traversed the fire-breathing alligator swampy river, and I really thought I'd have found someone to fall in love with, or at least someone to save me by now. But no, I'm stuck here looking for just one little mouthful of food, and now I found it. It's clearly meant for me. I'm keeping it.
My whole family will die.
No.
Yes. That's all our food for the winter.
Pip repeatedly picks at a scab on her elbow.
But I deserve them. Look at me. My clothes are in tatters. I've had my trials. I'm the good one. I'm the hero of the story. This is my reward.
We'll die.
But you're just chipmunks.
Just please give me the nuts. You won't know what you're doing. You'll live to regret this.
Sorry. Not sorry.
Pip grabs all the nuts and stuffs them into her mouth at once.
You fool! You fool! I'm really your alter ego.
What?
Orville straightens up and transforms into an alternate version of Pip, but a hideous version. Though she's tall and strong and of icily classically beautiful features, her eyes are dead dark cold, her teeth are sharp fangs, her hands are talons. Pip gags on the nuts and nearly chokes.
What?
We are what we eat, Pippy. You feed on greed and heartlessness. Then this is the monster you become.
No, I'm the good one.
We are none of us anything forever, Pip. Everything is transformation. Every bite is a nutrition or poison.
Pip is noticing the nuts are choking her more and more. She tries to spit them out, but cannot.
Oh, now they don't taste quite as good as it was. Is that it?
Wait, I wanted my fair.
Oh, fair. What is fair? We don't get what we deserve. We get what we are willing to give. What goes around comes around.
I didn't understand. Help me.
Orville Pip 2 starts to shrug, but then looks up at the sky. There's a second moon in a purple sky.
Well, look at that. Perhaps this is both our lucky days. Sometimes there is a chance to make amends. Only on the night of the double moon can you make amends.
Amends?
She's filled with abject terror, but anything is better than this.
Yes, tell me how.
Look behind that tree.
Still coughing and struggling for breath, Pip walks around the tree and returns with a tiny steaming teapot about the size of a thimble.
What is it?
Whoever drinks the tea on the night of the double moon will be made whole and sated. All will be well.
Ah, thank you.
She lifts the teapot and starts to pour it into her mouth. Then, just as she's about to tip it, she stops.
Oh, Chipmunk?
Me?
Yes. Would you like a drink?
Don't mind if I do.
Orville takes the pot and drinks the drink. Immediately, they are transformed back into a chipmunk, and the forest bursts into bloom. A cottage springs up with a fire clearly burning in the hearth, and through the window, we see a table set with a full tea and 2 chairs.
Oh, what?
We are what we eat. We get what we give.
Orville hops over to the cottage and gestures to the door.
Tea.
Curtain.
I love the moral.
That was awesome.
Wonderful.
That was epic.
Bill, I think it's up. I think you're the guy now, right?
Yes, I am. Okay. I'll remind everyone of the suggestions, shall I?
Yeah.
Yeah, the I asked for an uncommon profession and an heirloom, and the suggestions I took were advisor to the king and a silver ring with snakes on it. There were several other suggestions as well, some of which I tried to sprinkle in there as some little Easter eggs. So, okay, I'll start with the stage directions, and we've got you, Kat, and Ken's missing, but Ken, I guess, join us in a moment, right? Okay.
I'm ready.
Oh, and Zan Hall, you have your camera on. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, and let us begin. Fade in, interior court of King Otto, banquet hall, day. Actually, later this should have been night, but okay, here we go. A richly appointed banquet hall, a celebration dinner. King Otto, the tall, sturdy monarch of this realm, sits at the head of a long table, which is occupied by various courtiers, lords, and ladies. Seated at his right is a beautiful, dark-haired woman, Princess Hiss, laughing with her hand at his arm as they all watch a juggling court jester caper and dance for their amusement. The jester catches the last of his juggling pins and takes a long bow. When everyone has stopped applauding, King Otto rises with his goblet.
Lords and ladies, a toast.
The table quiets as the attendees lift their goblets.
I raise this goblet in thanks and blessing. There is not one among you here who does not remember the great turmoil that has afflicted this land.
People down the table nod and murmur in assent.
For 3 generations we fought the evil snake people from the realm beyond the mountain. And many of our fathers, brothers, and sons lost their lives in that great battle. But today is the 1-year anniversary of the end of that conflict, when the snake people mysteriously stopped their attacks upon us, and peace came to Elfindor once more.
Everyone nods. The jester watches, mildly interested.
Coincidentally, the very next day, true love came into the life of your king. This woman, Princess Hiss, appeared with her retinue at the doors of the palace and won my heart forever.
Everyone nods and smiles, except the jester. He frowns skeptically, picking at a scab on his elbow as he stares at the princess.
Now she is about to become my bride and your queen. Praise God for true love, and long live your queen!
Everyone shouts, "Hear, hear!" Everyone raises their goblets and drinks. The jester, though, who doesn't have a goblet, spots the princess shooting out her long forked tongue to lap the wine out of hers. His eyes go wide.
And now, everyone, back to the celebration. Jester, regale us with song and story.
Everyone applauds and all eyes turn to the jester. The jester blinks.
Well, okay. I got a story for you all. Mind you, I'm merely a jester, a kind of political expert with no opinion.
The room laughs mildly. He strums on a lute and begins.
But once upon a merry time, there was this king. Let's call him Otto. No relation.
The king and princess smile.
And this king, he wasn't exactly the brightest flame in the candelabra, if you see what I'm saying. The head on his neck might have worn the crown, but it was the head below his belt that did most of the thinking around here, okay?
More
So one day, After months of this, King sitting on his royal ass or collecting butterflies in his garden, while his best men and most loyal citizens were getting slaughtered in a war with the snake people, he wakes up to learn that the snake people just all of a sudden, for no decent reason, stopped fighting. And he thinks, whoa, am I a lucky cuck or what?
The crowd's laughter isn't quite as loud this time. Some of the courtiers exchange looks.
And then, the very next day, again, for no apparent reason, this girl shows up, just walks right up to the door of the palace, princess, get this, Princess Hit.
King Otto smiles at his bride to bathe and goes on listening. She smiles back, wary though.
And even though this chick is way out of King Otto's league, she falls madly in love with him instantly. He falls in love with her instantly too, but I'm guessing that's because of the way she French kisses.
Uneasy laughter. Where's he going with this? The jester strums a chord and continues.
He ignores the fact that her body temperature seems to run a little on the cold side, tells himself, well, she's from another land, maybe the mountains. He ignores the fact that she seems to live on a diet of raw mice and puppies, which it appears she swallows whole.
The jester points to her plate, which has several squirming vermin and mewling puppies nailed down onto it. The princess blinks, a small dog paw disappearing between her lips as she swallows.
You hear that? She has the same name as you.
Princess
He doesn't seem to notice that she's wearing a silver ring with snakes on it. Never mind that this is the same kind of ring the queen of the snake people supposedly wears just before she feeds on a human.
The courtiers begin to murmur with concern.
Which she always does at midnight.
The huge grandfather clock at the end of the hall begins to chime its hands at 12.
As the night sky turns purple and a second moon appears in accordance with the dark book of prophecy.
The moonlight from the high windows changes to purple and the courtiers look outside and gasp. Everyone but King Otto.
That is amazing. How did you do that?
The courtiers all turn away from the windows to gaze at their king with a new understanding, shouting, "Oh my God, our king's a moron!"
He's a moron!
Perhaps, my king, we should bid everyone farewell and retire for the night.
Oh, you think so, my love? Well, everyone, thank you for coming. My betrothed has grown tired, and thus we shall end our revel.
As he is saying this, purple moonlight strikes the princess. Her eyes become yellow and snake-like. Her skin takes on a greenish, scaly pallor. The king turns to the jester and claps.
But first, let us thank our fine court jester, a merry clown, such a tale. Where do you get your ideas from? It's quite beyond me.
My ideas? My tale? You fool! You fool! I'm really your alter ego.
What? My ego?
Yes, at last. Now you get it. I'm here to tell you things that you're thinking somewhere in that royal noggin of yours, but that you can't say out loud. And dude, I'm here to tell you, your queen is a fucking snake lady.
What?
The hall erupts in shouts. The princess gazes at the king, suddenly filled with abject terror.
What? Nonsense! Nonsense!
He grabs the princess's hand.
These people have all gone.
Purple thunder suddenly rumbles in the sky, shaking the hall and the entire castle to its very foundation. The long curtain behind the throne is suddenly rent in two. Every goblet on the table shatters, spilling wine like blood. The king pulls the princess up out of her chair and whisks her out of the hall. As he does, we see that she has no legs below the waist, but instead her entire lower body is a long green snake body. Everyone in the hall screams. The jester watches the king and snake lady flee the room while everyone else in the room screams and runs for the doors.
Yeah. Good luck hitting that, Your Highness.
The end.
Ooh.
Is that a true story?
I want to see that movie.
Inspired by true events.
Really? Oh, let's talk about that. Huh?
That was awesome. Thank you so much, Bill.
Thank you for reading. Thanks.
Alex, what do you got for us, buddy?
Mike, my suggestions were looking for something in balance, and I got id and ego. And what came out is what you're about to see. I'll go off camera. It begins, Zan, thank you, Zan. It begins, where does it begin? This play is called Ellery and Cousin's Son, and it begins in a Midtown law office of Ellery and Self, attorney at law. Ellery is on the phone while Izzy is at the door listening.
I was muted. Forgive me. I'm muted and off camera. Can we go back? I'm sorry about that. Forgive me.
Ellery is on the phone. Izzy is at the door listening.
And at this point, I know he's going to go to pieces. He has no idea how to get out of the sand, and I'm just relishing it. I'm relishing it. Guy has had me over the barrel so many times, and here it's payback, mister. Payback. You got me?
Excuse me.
Because he doesn't have a clue how to hit a golf ball is why.
Uncle.
What? How did he what? How many strokes? Excuse me?
Uncle.
He has no idea. And I'm gonna that's not true. He deserves no credit. Guy's a doofus, and it is payback time.
Uncle Ellery.
Forget it.
Uncle Ellery.
What? What?
I think I finished the leases.
Yeah.
Would you like to look at them? They're all filed.
I don't need to look at them.
Last time.
I don't care.
I think that.
What happened last time? What?
I didn't follow your instructions, I think.
What do you mean I don't remember that?
You said I filed everything backwards or the wrong order or.
Oh, you did. Yes, you did. What were you thinking?
Are you okay?
What?
I asked if you are okay.
I'm fine.
You're bleeding.
I'm bleeding. If you prick us, do we not?
Do not what?
Bleed. Shakespeare. Shylock.
I don't know Shakespeare.
Stay out of the law then. Good one, Bill. Good one, Ellery.
I don't think I'm very good at it.
You're not. I remember you filed all the leases geographically. You're hopeless.
I know. I just
get over it. If you want to be a lawyer, get over it.
Could you let me help you with that?
With
your elbow? You're really bloody.
You have bandages with you?
All the time. I get hurt a lot.
I didn't used to do that.
Scratch yourself?
Scratch, pick. Sorry, it's revolting.
My dad says you've been under a lot of stress.
Your dad thinks he knows everything.
Were you talking to him on the phone earlier?
How'd you deduce that?
That's kind of how you sound when you talk to him.
Have you eavesdropped on our conversations?
It's how everyone talks to him. He's very...
Pray tell.
He's kind of a know-it-all.
You'd say so.
It's not a big secret.
Interesting.
How's that?
Oh, it's fine. Thank you. I appreciate it.
So I'll get on to the certificates.
Why did you take this job?
I think it's important to apply myself more. If I ever want to get ahead in the...
What?
Apply myself? If I want to...
Who told you that?
That I need to...
Who uses that language? No one actually speaks that language. Your dad does.
He told me that you'd be willing to help me get some experience in a professional capacity.
I'll wager he did. But why? It seems to hold no interest for you.
He said you'd have to.
Have to?
He said you owed him after all he's done for you.
Outrageous. Oh, he thinks he's so superior.
He does.
He's lorded it over me ever since we were born. Do you know what he said to me when I told him I was going to establish my own firm?
I was pretty young.
You'll never make it, he said. You haven't a chance on your own. You're too cocky, too reckless. You need me, he said. You can't make it a day without me, he said. He said, and I will never forget this, never forget this. You fool, I'm really your alter ego.
What does that even mean?
I have no idea.
He likes to tell people what to do.
He does, thank you.
What?
I never told anyone that. My elbow doesn't itch anymore.
Probably the Neosporin.
No, it's been deep. It's for years. Ever since I started the firm. Ever since I left your father's firm. I can feel it. It's gone.
It's pretty late.
Look out there.
It's dark.
See the second moon?
I see the real one.
Look at the reflection. One building reflects off the other with all these glass towers. So it looks like there are two. Maybe you have to stand over here.
Oh, I see it. It's beautiful. I didn't think you noticed things like that.
Maybe.
You think it's my dad?
No.
Ellery and Cousin's son. Yes, that's what I said, Dad. You were wrong about all that. I think he's a genius.
I can't believe.
I can.
They look at the moon. End of play.
Ah.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Sorry, I screwed us up at the
Try the
beginning
actor
there.
again.
No.
That was awesome.
Mike, your microphone is off, Michael Durkin.
Okay,
Mike,
now it's on. I'm going to ask everybody to put off get rid of your screens there for just a second while we do a little sharing of something. Thanks for everybody. That's all I want to say. Thanks for everything.
Yeah. We like to formally thank all the people whose names you see going by here. Some of these names belong to people who've been in the show tonight, who have supported right away with their presence and also with their contributions. Right away is a place where we can spontaneously write things and then actually hear it read and reach an audience right away. And all of these people have helped to bring this show about and also helped to keep us going during the pandemic. And now that we're back, your contributions help us to build back, to pay rent for our live shows, to train our new company members to do those shows, to pay artists, to do workshops. Theater is a handmade product in a mass-produced world, and we can't do it without generous contributions from people like you. So thank you so much. If you'd like to make one tonight, just go to www.synergy.com or freestylrep.org.
Those are all in the chats. And now I welcome everybody to come back on the screen and join us for one last kind of hip, hip hooray for such great work tonight from everybody. Everybody that's on the screen, nice work. We are going to hang around for a couple of minutes, and we certainly encourage anybody who would like to hang around with us just to chat about what we did tonight and just have a little talk. So first of all, once again, I'm not sure the date for next month's
It is Monday, April 17th.
There you got it. Monday, April 17th, 2 days after you paid your taxes. So come back and enjoy this again. We'd love to see you again. In the meantime, on behalf of myself and my good friend out there in Walnut Creek, Mr. Ken Adams, thank you very much for joining us. This has been Right Away.
Now, if you're staying for the talk back, we invite you all to turn your cameras back on. If you are taking off, then thank you so much for being here. We'll see you next time. Everybody who's staying for the talk back, settle in. Well, hello, and thank you all for being here. We had a really lovely jam and some wonderful, wonderful work in from our playwrights as well. So, to kick things off in the talk back, in our live improvisation classes here in Synergy Theater, we've been actually working on some scripted material, which allows us to kind of see how actors go about getting grounded in their characters and connected in their partners, and then seeing what we can borrow from that as we start improvising again. One of the interesting discoveries that I made as we were working this way is that and actors of course know this, but for improvisers it comes as a surprise, there's a great deal of spontaneity at play when you are working on a scripted piece. And the spontaneity has to do with really, really being alive in that moment. So it's not the spontaneity of making something up and saying it off the top of your head. It's the spontaneity of really being in that moment and living there and expressing each of the lines that you know you're going to say, but with an emotion that is very true to that moment. Whereas in improvisation, we're often kind of racing ahead a little bit of the moment because we're trying to figure out what's going to come next. So that irony of being in the moment a little bit more as a scripted actor than an improvisational actor has been on my mind lately. It really comes into play when we're doing these readings, I think, these cold readings. Yeah. But I wondered, as I was thinking of you folks off writing, how much of the writing process of these plays did you find yourself really in the moment, really living what those characters were living and creating them spontaneously? Or how much of it was still kind of a traditional writer's arduous task of thinking in the future.
Interesting. Interesting.
I don't know. I guess I can jump into an awkward silence. In my own case, I'm used to outlining vigorously before I start writing, and I circle my desk for months sometimes. But when you can't do that, I felt like I was falling out of a plane and sewing the parachute together on my way down. Like, I didn't have time to. I mean, when I had the suggestions in my case of a king and a ring with snakes on it, I thought of okay, snake people or something that this and an engagement. And once I had a situation that I felt like I could write within it, but so I don't know that I was fully in the moment, because I guess maybe what I'm stammering through is I couldn't be in the moment until I decided about something that's going to be the end. It's like, okay, this jester, the situation is this jester is going to slowly start telling this king that his bride to be is from Satan. And, you know, that was all I knew, and I just was writing from there.
Yeah,
if that's a decent answer. I don't.
Yeah, for sure. Sharon.
Yeah, I would actually. I mean, I've done a lot of acting. I've taken like. I can't even tell you how much money I've spent on acting classes. I've studied with everybody, I feel like. And what I'm hearing from you right now is that you were in the moment, just even with that idea, just because just having a spontaneous idea about how these things relate in itself is an expression of whatever creativity was happening in that moment for you. So I would say that's great.
Mm-hmm. Anything else on that, or if anybody else has any other questions or insights that you want to share about anything?
I would say that for me, because one of the things that people who come here regularly hear me say all the time is typing is really hard for me, and I'm really slow at it. And so what's odd is that I have a lot of time for many different plans to go through my head. I can't type fast enough to stay in the present in any way at all. So what I find happens is, out of all possibilities that go by me, I just have to grab whatever one is handy and slap that one down and go. So it's like there's many alternate universes, and then I go this way, and then there's many alternate universes and I go that way. And when I hear it read, two things happen. I'm surprised at how threadbare it is, because I write so few sentences, and then I'm amazed at how much the actors fill it out.
A little sidebar to the whole situation here is that at least 4 of us here on the screen are alumni or current members of Freestyle Rep, which began like 40 years ago as a group of actors trying to figure out how to get that feeling in their acting, that spontaneous feeling in their acting. And they thought they would try to do this thing called improvisation. So that was kind of the seminal moment for our company, and kind of the reason or why we're all here tonight is has grown from that. As an act and as an improviser, one of the things I do, and I think one thing a lot of people do, improvisers do, is they spontaneously in improvs and in the work we do here, you grab a hold of the biggest thing you can, the biggest emotion or the biggest whatever, the biggest thing you can, and go with that and commit to that. And it can sometimes prove to be a mistake, but you know, it's always a good mistake when you go big with something. In my acting, I'm never asked in the rehearsal process by my director to give more. I'm always asked to pull back. Will you, Durkin? Just pull back a little bit here, will you? So it's that commitment to being big. So that's, I don't know if that answers the question or what.
Those of you who, Alex or Laura, those of you who have directed other scripted actors in plays, do you notice a qualitative difference in an actor who has intensive improvisation experience versus one who does not?
I don't think I know enough about everyone's backgrounds to say that, but I will answer the question nonetheless, to say that I was reminded, thinking about this and reading through. Actually, I was reading through some old books of the Moose in honor of Keith, the recently departed Keith Johnstone, and reminded of how much studying improv and working in improv, which I really only did in the Bay Area with Bay Area Theater Sports, opened up availability to scripts and to the moment and to the fellow actors. And so I think, I don't know if everybody who really has that openness and that responsive, immediate presence owes it to improv training, but I can say that certainly it completely changed my world in terms of directing and acting in responding to a moment. I don't think it's done anything for the playwriting, because I sort of get caught up in that immediate, what do you mean? What do you mean to say? Well, what I mean to say is, and nothing ever happens in the script, because I'm very, very focused on, you said this and you said that, but I love it with actors and directing.
When did you work with Bay Area Theater Sports? Kat Coppett spent many years there.
91 and 92, I think.
Oh, we kind of missed each other, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure we have lots of friends, and I was just looking up what some of them were doing, friends in common, but
Lots and lots, I'm sure.
Thank you for that, Alex. Any other thoughts or comments or hits on that? Yeah, Sharon.
Yeah, something you just said, Alex. I've forgotten what it was.
Me too.
Could you kindly repeat your answer?
Yeah, you just start from the beginning. Just
let me just rewind and I'll.
Yeah. No, I know what I was going to say. Yeah, when I started acting, I pretty much would only do film because the stage terrified me, for the very reason of, like, there are no second chances, and what if I forget a line? And I'm like, oh my God, and the whole thing. And once I started doing improv, that really turned around completely. And now, like I strongly prefer stage, because it's because you can really get into the flow in the moment. With film, you're always like starting, stopping, start, stop. It's like everything's broken up into such small chunks. And with play, you can really just kind of fall into it a bit more. And I owe that to improv, that and one particular acting instructor that whose technique for learning lines in a way that allows you to stay present in the moment. Those were the two things that really did it for me.
Laura, your comment was interesting, I thought, about how much the actors bring to the script. And I wonder if that is something that in all of the times I've studied playwriting, which has been extensively from many teachers in many colleges, they never mention that, right? It's always an isolated educational experience about the writing process, but it's never really about the theater process and how the writing collaborates with the acting. And I wonder, like with picture book writers who write too much text, not understanding that the picture is there to tell the story as well, how can writers benefit from this understanding?
Yeah, I think that people who actually go in theater and work in theater do understand that, like the play is the blueprint, and that there's a reason why it's spelled WRIGHT rather than WRITE when you spell playwright. You're building the play, and that the play is the thing that happens on the stage. And I think people do understand that, but it is kind of like you have to focus on theater and work on it for a while, because we're like, when you're in literary circles, and we tend also to think of plays as just being the words. And even having said in theater, we don't do that. We kind of shortchange how much we know physically. You know, we'll skip over it. We'll leave it out, like when we're teaching or something. Like when we teach theater, we try to always build in a physical component, or you know, like I'm rambling now, but in improv, when we do those games where like you only get a certain number of words per sentence, or you have to speak in some prescribed way, we often tie ourselves in knots speaking, where in fact I think those games are invented to stop us from speaking. And when actors begin to realize that, they go like, oh yeah, this is so much easier if I only speak one word sentences, but I only speak like 2 or 3 of them in this scene because I'm so busy doing something. I was going to say something else when I started out. Maybe that reminded somebody of what they wanted to say.
Sharon, what was she going to say?
Raka, I saw your hand.
Yeah, I really love the statement about theater is a handmade product in a mass-produced world. You know, that promo that you had about theater, because the exciting thing about theater is that even if you have the same exact script, it can be different every night, depending on how each of the actors plays it, depending on what feedback you're getting from the audience, the energy that's out there. There are just so many things that can go into it. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, another real reason why that ability to be spontaneous is so important, because you know, if you memorize the lines and you repeat them the same way every night, it might be wonderful, but it wouldn't necessarily be alive to that moment. And there might be something happening that night in your partner or in the audience or in the world that could be affecting you differently if you were more awake to the moment, and could result in a new experience that character had never had before.
I have a couple of things to say. I think that in terms of being present and spontaneous and being able to receive and have access to what's happening in the moment, to be able to express that. I went through conservatory training as an actor, and that was valued in conservatory training as an actor. Everybody knew that, well, not everybody, but certainly in the American theater, you know, of the actor studio and post-actor studio, right? That was valued, that kind of authenticity and presence. But very few people knew how to teach it. There was a sort of like, you should have this. And if you don't have it, we're going to beat you up for not having it. Or we're going to say things like, don't think so much, right? Be more present. The world of improvisation, Keith Johnstone and Spolin and Del Close, and then the collect, and Laura Livingston and Ken Adams, and the collective knew how to teach people how to do that, knew how to exercise those muscles and teach people how to be present, more present. So that's what I, as an actor, got from, that's why I found improv, and that's why I stayed in improv.
So do we see an application to writing? Is this strictly an acting thing, or does this apply to writing?
Well, so that's one thing. I think that the corollary is true of writing, right? So what's true when we're improvising is we're writing and acting at the same time, right? When we're performing improv. The same thing that's true as improvisers and actors happens as writers. And I don't think it's just true as playwrights. I think it happens as any writer. Like if you start to become a writer, you're then going to find a whole slew of teachers and books that say things like Anne Lamott, right? Like shitty first drafts, or in essence, separate idea generation from idea evaluation is the way most like creativity books or writing books say it. And what improvisers have figured out is how to access and exercise the idea generation without idea evaluation muscles. So there's a whole slew of improv, gym equipment for exercising those muscles. And then there's a whole other canon of work, which can actually you are very responsible for, which is about teaching people about narrative structure and sort of like fast food Stanislavski for playwrights, if you will, right? Like how to very quickly at your fingertips go, how do I create a story with a beginning, middle, and end? So I think it's those three sort of, I don't know if it's two or three, but sort of those different bodies of work. How do I do it? How do I access it quickly? And how do I put aside my censor to access my spontaneity? Those are the things that I think improvisers are good at.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Yes, Sharon.
Yeah, I know, Bill, one thing you said earlier made me think of following the energy. Like when you are, or even, Laura, what you were saying about the multiple universes and stuff, it's like there's something that there's just like a little bit more energy that's compelling you to go that direction instead of any one of these other directions, and just for whatever reason. And when it's done in that non-judgment, like you're saying, Kat, right? You're just following the biggest energy you possibly can. Like I think that's really I think you kind of can't go wrong if you're in that. And sometimes it's going to still be shitty, and that's fine, but it won't be to somebody, and that's fine too. But it's in the end, I think that practice, right, the more is it's just the heart of it, whatever it is. And that could be, painting or riding a bike, even just, that spontaneity of being alive and following. I just think following the energy is always a good payoff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a writer, so I'm not being as articulate as all you people.
No, that's okay. I kind of a thought I have about that's a bit corollary. And as I'm saying this aloud, I feel like I'm sort of a magician with fellow magicians, and I'm giving away how a trick is done. So pardon me for this, but one of the things that we do here that is perceived as making things doubly and triply difficult in some ways is asking for suggestions, and particularly asking for 2 different suggestions, which I did this time in our rehearsal. I only asked for 1 a couple of times. But as much as possible, I try to incorporate any other things that were suggested as sort of Easter eggs, I called them. Like somebody has suggested dog paw, I worked that into my thing and stuff like that. But actually, it's harder sometimes to write something when you've only got 1 suggestion, because it can be 14 billion things. If the only suggestion is a restaurant, but if it's a restaurant and an alien, then suddenly the space of possible things that can be narrows. And if somebody else says on a first date, then it gets even more and more narrow. And the audience is really impressed that you're writing stuff that's got incorporating all these 6 things that somebody just said. I'm like, no, I could not do it in 45 minutes if I still had 14 billion choices. But the more narrow the possibilities get, then Sharon, there are certain ones that just immediately suggest to you, okay, I can do something with this. I don't know what, but the king's getting married and the jester's the only one who sees that she's going to kill him. I don't know. Okay. Then suddenly the wealth of things that could have happened with just a suggestion about a ring, in some ways it's actually easier to do that, to incorporate 6 suggestions in 45 minutes than just 1. I don't know, your thoughts, panel.
Are we all
Comes
thinking of
freedom,
Howie?
with freedom comes restriction. So
Are we all thinking of Howie Mandel though?
Howie Mandel, you mean when he said, "Okay, now give me something funny to say"?
Yeah, when it goes with, okay, give me a place, give me a character. There's a certain point at which I think you're absolutely right. It's really fun, and it's finding maybe the sweet spot of enough suggestions to help guide it, but not so many that that it can't take its own life, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there is some skill in it. Don't get me wrong. It's still some difficult, especially because some of the suggestions we're getting along the way. So John Cleese talks about the open mode as opposed to the closed mode of creating something, and or Sharon, you were talking about it being in a kind of a zone, or flow is often also what it's called, when you're in the moment. But we aren't able to fully be in it because we got to keep an eye out for the next thing that's coming in, So you can't really just go and be in a zone and blank and realize you've been writing for 90 minutes, because every few minutes ping, oh, wait, okay, now I got to use that side of my brain again and figure out how am I going to shoehorn this into the thing I was writing. So
yeah, there's often a bit of a debate in the improv circle about spontaneity and its relationship to structure, and whether those two things are anathema to each other. Can you really be spontaneous if you're following a strict structure? But I think along with what you're saying, Bill, I think the answer is yes. I think structure just helps us funnel that spontaneity into a particular direction, but it doesn't prevent the need or the opportunity to still be spontaneous within whatever parameters are around you.
yeah, it's I mean, even if you're painting something and you're painting whenever you feel like, usually the canvas is only this wide. You've
Right.
decided whether it's going to be this way or this way, right? So there are some structural decisions that you make. Another thing I'm fond of saying is there's only 88 keys on a keyboard. You're not going to find a brand new note to blow everybody's mind with. It's the order in which you play them, the ways that you combine them that create something. So,
yeah.
I have an inside baseball question, maybe for the recidivists, and it's about the suggestions. There was a period when the suggestions were connected to one another. So you might introduce an object in the first suggestion, and then later on what happened to that object would be in the second suggestion, and something else about the same thing, for example. And it seemed very popular a year ago. And so I didn't say, boy, I find that really frustrating. But now it seems no longer, although I don't know what's going on in the jam. What's the feeling about that, the continuity of suggestion, or the connection of suggestion, if I've made the question clear?
Yeah, well, I think it's up to the individual hosts of the jam. And Mike and I just happened not to do it tonight. But in fact, that has been going on recently. And honestly, as a writer, I found it even a little bit more fun and challenging when they were connected, because you couldn't just give lip service to the suggestion. You couldn't just mention it once and then let it go. You really had to be responsible for that suggestion and really accept it fully. But Laura's the proponent there, so I'll turn it over.
And who would do that, Ken?
I don't know if that I'm the proponent of that. I'm the one that has done it a few times.
I like it on the writing end.
Yeah. Oh, and while I have the floor, since the metaphor of theater being a handmade product in a mass-produced world, I have to kind of give credit to Paul Berry, the long ago artistic director of the New Jersey Shakespeare Festival. He used that metaphor once, and it struck me. So I think since it struck somebody else when I said it, I should give credit where it's due.
Thank you for that.
Fond remembrance of Paul Berry.
I'm sorry, Alex?
Oh, a fond remembrance of Paul Berry, who played Duncan to my Macbeth years ago, and has left us all.
Oh Lord.
My friends, thank you very much for coming. It's just coming up on a quarter to the next hour, so I think we're going to wrap things up. This was awesome. This was a very stimulating conversation. I really appreciate people sticking around and contributing to that. Thank you, of course, to our writers for your enormous talent and bravery. We appreciate it. Michael, an awesome honor to host with you.
Always a pleasure to host with you.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. It's been a wonderful evening. Have yourself a beautiful spring and join us back here on April 17th. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for letting me play with you guys. I really appreciate it.
Our pleasure, Bill.
Great
Our
work.
pleasure.
Thank
Alex?
you, Alex.
Bye-bye, everybody.
They do this.
Bye.
Thanks.
It's like, let's make, yeah, it's like standing at the door and their jackets are on and there's still a little chit chat going on.
Hey, this live streaming is still, I thought I was turning it off, but hey, goodbye live. I can't do it.